it was relief. I mean, that's the only way to describe it. As the senator said, this investigation was a sham. It was a joke. For us to have to go through this, that is Ken Paxton and his family, as well as the senators and everyone else, is just a shame. As I mentioned in my argument yesterday, I'm literally sitting at the same table at lunch with one of the investigators who doesn't even bother to tell me this is going on. This should have never happened. The senators were outstanding. Our co-counsel, all of us working together, was outstanding, but it should have never happened. But
Where is the Attorney General, and have you spoken to him since this has all come down? What's he saying?
I think Tony has. I have not.
Let me just first say, I want to thank our team. I mean, this was a Herculean task to put together a defense when we really didn't even know what we were defending. It made it very difficult, and we got some incredibly bright lawyers on our team who did a heck of a lot of work. And so I want to thank them on the Attorney General's behalf. I want to thank the senators for doing their job. I think you saw how thorough they were and how the notes that they took, and they took this incredibly seriously. This should have never happened. And I want to thank the court for giving us a just trial on behalf of Attorney General Ken Paxton. We are proud of the case we put on. We should not have had to prove our innocence, but that's what we did. And we believe that the court reached the right verdict. We're very proud of the work we did.
Tony, what was your mindset coming into today's verdict?
I was as nervous. Well, there's an old saying in East Texas. Maybe I'll say it this way. I was nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. We didn't know. There were no leaks. We had no idea how the jury would vote. All we were focused on was trying to put on the best case we could.
Had you ever been that nervous before?
Well, I've had 4 children, so probably not. Certainly not in the legal practice.
Why wasn't Mr. Paxton the Attorney General on what's he today during?
General Paxton has monitored this the entire time. We've been in constant communication the entire time, and I would expect his team and his staff will have remarks to make at some point, and I certainly won't, other than thanking the court, speak on his behalf.
The 4 articles regarding the securities, they were dismissed, kind of like without prejudice and all that. Where do we go for next?
Where do we go next? Your question was, where do we go next?
Yeah, where do we go next, other than the bar?
You know, Romans 8:28 says, "For all things work together for good for those who love God and are called according to His purpose." That means if it's not good, it's not over. And this is good, and now it's over. And Ken Paxton is the Attorney General of the state of Texas.
But he still has this cloud of these other pieces of, how does this play into those situations? Or maybe this is a question for Dan.
Well, he still has the pending state case. I expect that in light of today's verdict to have some serious, those people ought to think about going forward on that case. That's been a BS case since day one. That case, like this one, should have never been brought. They ought to dismiss it. If they don't dismiss it, we'll try them and beat them there just like we beat them here.
How did this change?
October 6th court date for the securities fraud case, is that still set, the October 6th?
Yes, I mean, but that date is not a trial date. That's just a date to get a trial.
And Tony, how does this decision today, as dramatic and as overwhelming as it was, change the scope of the FBI into your case?
I have no idea. I don't speak for the FBI. I try not to.
I can tell you this, that the Attorney General is excited and ready to get back to work, and that's what he's going to
Do
do.
you believe the senators were responding to political pressure on either side?
You'd have to ask the jurors that. I don't know. I can only tell you we put on the best case we could put on in the time frame we had, and I'm very proud of our team. That's all I have.
I'm certain General Paxton will have a lot to say about this soon.
When will that be?
You just wait. You just wait.
Will he say it to us or will he say it
I don't.
Where is he today?
Is
Is he in McKinney or is he here in Austin?
Just
Oh,
wait.
I believe he's here in Austin. I expect we'll be meeting with him shortly.
What do you think was the defining moment that helped you get to where you are today during the trial?
The truth.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. The truth.
How's your response to statements that this was a political vote?
can't hear you because of
I can hear you. To call this a political vote is to impugn the reputation of the senators who voted on it. They voted on the evidence. They were here to do that. They listened to 2 weeks of it, and they acquitted our client on every single count.
You don't think thoughts of the next election had any bearing in the outcome here today?
You'd have to ask the jurors.
This was a total vindication of the Attorney General, and that's how it should be viewed.
Why didn't you guys call George Bush or Johnny Sutton?
you'll have to ask Tony that. I don't know.
Mr. Cocktail, earlier, when Paxton was facing his trial in Houston area, you had a quote something to the effect of, "We'll see what happens in the impeachment trial." To determine what happens next in that criminal trial. What do you think happens next, knowing that he's been acquitted?
What happens next is they should dismiss the state case, and if they don't, we'll go try it. Like I say, we beat them here, we'll beat them there.
Did y'all consider calling up Nate Paul to testify, and if so, why was he on?
Well, I wouldn't expect Nate Paul is real anxious to testify because he's under indictment for a completely unrelated matter. So no, I didn't really expect he would ever testify.
On that note, can you give us some insight into what happened behind the scenes with Laura Alston and her being unavailable to testify?
There was no behind the scenes about it. The judge granted a motion to quash, and she didn't testify.
Mr. Sandell, when do you expect that the security check to be heard?
Well, given as I leave here and drive to Dallas for a 2-month trial beginning then, I expect that'll be tried next year. Not my dance card is pretty full. So.
Dan, we heard from Tony a few minutes ago saying that he's never been this nervous really in the legal realm. You've done so many cases throughout the course of your decades as an attorney. Where does this one rank for you?
I guess I'm just weak because I'm nervous after every trial. I mean, from a misdemeanor to this and everything in between. I don't ever relax when a jury's out.
But where does it rank?
In terms of what?
Your trials that you have been a part of.
Oh, I mean, it's a big trial, but I've been in big trials, most of my career. I try not to celebrate them and not to mourn them because there's one next week. It's like, how does this kid rate alongside your other kid? They're all your kids. You better handle them all.
If Paxton is vindicated, why not sit here and look these whistleblowers in the eyes during the trial? Why come for only 2 days? Why not sit here and be
Look,
part of
that was his decision. There was disagreement amongst our team as to whether or not that was the right decision or the wrong decision. The fact that lawyers disagree on something is about as exciting as today being Saturday. He chose not to. The law didn't require him to, so he didn't.
What
How
precedent
concerned
does it
are
set
you
for
about the
impeachment
ongoing federal
protection?
investigation?
I'm sorry?
How concerned are you about the ongoing federal investigation?
That's a firm I don't know. I don't talk to the FBI. They don't talk to me. I wouldn't like it if I was under investigation. Neither would you. But I have no communication with the main justice folks. They've chosen not to communicate with me, so I go to the next issue.
How are y'all getting paid?
How am I getting paid?
Yeah.
By Ken Paxton.
Out of campaign
Campaign
funds?
money or personal?
I'm sorry?
Personal funds,
That-
campaign funds?
How
All
are you?
applicable laws are being applied with, disclosure requirements will be applied with. That's when it'll be dealt with.
What were you going to say, Mr. Cocktail? How is he being paid?
And I was going to say, how are you being paid? What business is that of
My
y'all?
station comes, but is it coming from like Paxton's pocket? Is it coming from the state?
No, we're not getting a penny from the state. The people that made money from the state are the prosecutors, not us. We didn't get a dime from the state.
So no taxpayer dollars is what you're saying?
No, absolutely not.
Do you know whether he's paying
Now with
with
this-
campaign funds,
I-
or do you know that?
I don't cross-examine it when somebody writes me a check. It's just not my nature.
You mentioned it'll follow all proper procedures. What do you mean? Were you referring to like campaign
Any
finance
disclosure
documents?
requirements, those will all be followed. That's when that information will come out.
Do y'all have any concern that this will have a chilling effect on future whistleblowers?
Look, no. What I'm relieved about is it won't have a chilling effect on people that run for political office. This is a trial that should have never happened. Period. Full stop. The right result happened, but it shouldn't have gotten this far. So if you have a legitimate whistleblower complaint, I don't think this should chill your concerns at all. I don't think these whistleblower complaints were appropriate, but that's not up to me. So no, I don't think it'll have a chilling
Chris, can
effect.
you talk a little bit about this settlement agreement and this whole whistleblower case and what happens now that this is all done?
The courts will deal with that. I think Mr. Dorfman testified that the settlement agreement is in effect. We'll deal with that another time. Right now, I want to focus on just congratulating the Attorney General. This was a vindication for him.
What
What's
did
the
he say
impact on the
after
office?
this was over?
I literally haven't spoken to him since this is over. We came in here and spoke to you. Speaking of which, let's go speak to Ken
That's
Paxton.
a good idea.
It's